Hello, and welcome back to Rise and Lead Women's Leadership Perspectives. I am your host, founder and CEO of Diverse Perspectives, consultant and writing services, where we strive to unlock potential and foster lasting positive change by guiding clients on their personal and professional journeys. And so today, I would like to spend some time talking about confidence. Confidence is key when it comes to successful leadership. And the reason for this is because insecurities are the thief of success, right? So as we continue to go through this journey, it is really important for us to understand who we are and what we stand on, because when we don't know that, we act in ways that are just not conducive to successful environments, and they don't bring out the best in our teams because we are struggling with our own issues when we are in a position where we should be helping other people to get through theirs. And so those of you who have been with me from the very beginning know that I'm really big on the fact that we have to do the self-work, the self-reflection, make the necessary adjustments in order for us to be able to help other people. And that's really what it comes down to. We are in position to help someone else. Leadership is never, ever about the leader. And good leaders know that. Good leaders know that we are responsible for other people. And so our choices, our decisions, even the work that happens when no one else is around is what really helps to create environments where we are successful. And so the one reason why I really feel like this is a necessary conversation is because I've had a lot of conversations with leaders lately, and it all kind of stems back to the same thing. And so this idea of insecurity really is like a trick, right? And so those, again, I am a Christian leader. Like that is no secret to anyone. And so I really believe that we were created to do certain things. Like I was created to be a leader, even when my insecurities kept me from being in positions of leadership. Okay. And so I had to get out of that mindset of not being enough, of not having enough of whatever it is. And so I always pick up on these little moments when I hear leaders talking about how they feel like they need to get more of something. And I want to be very clear, like there's nothing wrong with continuing to improve yourself. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to take a course, or you wanting to go back and get your degree, or you even doing, constant learning, because I am a forever learner. Like I will literally be a forever student, because I understand that there's always more for me to learn, and there's always someone who knows more than I do. Yes, I am considered a specialist, or someone who is really well versed in my area. I'm an expert when it comes to certain things, but there are still people out there who have more experience than I do, who I listen to when they give me advice. There's never a time when someone is imparting wisdom into me that I'm like, nope, I already got it figured out. I don't need to hear what you have to say, because I really don't understand anybody who operates that way. So that is not what I'm getting ready to say. And I'm kind of preparing you to really receive what it is that's getting ready to come out of my mouth. The trick is that we get in a place, and I say we because I've been there before and I've had to fight my way out of this, where we are constantly in this mindset of believing that we don't have enough of something in order for us to be successful in what we have been called to do. So I hear lots of people talk about, if I just had more education, if I just had that degree, then I would be able to do this. Or, if I just, my personality was more this, if I was more outgoing or more charismatic, or, more energetic, if I could find more passion for this, or if I looked this way, if I was taller, if I was shorter, if I was, this or that, it's always something that they feel like they need more of in order to get to the place where they have been called to be. And I just simply don't believe that. And I say that because I allowed myself to get caught in that trap. So those who know me well know that I have several master's degrees. Okay. So I went to undergrad and I got a degree in media writing. And I've kind of shared a little bit of this story before, but for those who are not really clear, so we're going to walk out this path because again, we're going somewhere. And so media writing, I was so excited about being a writer, going into journalism. And then I allowed the voices of people who had never known anyone to do this successfully to tell me that, I wasn't going to find work and that, it was going to be really hard. I was going to struggle. It wasn't a career that was, really sustainable. And so I listened to those voices. And because of a lack of confidence in just me understanding what I was really gifted in, I allowed those voices to kind of take me on a different path. And so this is how I ended up in education because it was just a natural transition. I had all these English credits because obviously I was in school to be a writer. And so that led me down that path. And so when I entered into or decided that was like a next transition, it was, well, of course, now in order to be a teacher, you have to get another degree in order to get the qualifications, your teaching license, all of those things. And so, I understand that. So, okay, let's do it. And so I got my first degree, graduate degree as a master's degree, was in English and African American literature, which I was so excited about because I loved reading. And so the program was great for me and all of those things. And I'd already started when I was, kind of convinced that I should do the teaching path. And so I started teaching, and then it was, well, that degree itself doesn't get you your credentials. So then it was like, okay, I need to take what I have, and it's just a little short program added on, ended up being an entire 2-year program. And I ended up with a master's in English education or English teaching. So I'm now qualified, certified to be a teacher. I'm, doing the teaching thing, really enjoying it, realized that I was also gifted in that and could make connections with young people. And so that was now my new path. Well, as I continued down this journey, I realized that I still wanted to be a writer. And then it was, well, if you want to be a writer, like you need to get more of a footing in writing. So you need another degree. Of course, you need another master's degree to make you qualified to be a writer. Even though you're gifted in writing and you already have one degree in writing, but you definitely need another degree. And so I went back to school again and I got a degree in creative writing fiction. And I love that program as well, because again, I am a forever learner. Like I want to learn all the things that I can learn. And so I did that and I finished, and I still wasn't a published writer. Like I was just, now I got a writing degree. And so I'm still teaching and I'm just going to keep doing that. And so I continued down that path and started to pick up writing opportunities little by little. But again, it was because of me having the conversations, making the connections, making people aware, all these things that I could have done without this third master's degree. But I felt like I needed the backing, right? Like I needed the support in order to say that I'm qualified to be in this space and to do what I do because I have these degrees, right? But I was still struggling with the same issue. Those insecurities did not go away. And as I thought they would, I thought that once I get a degree saying that I'm good at this and I've been to school for it, then every opportunity would just open up. And that's just not what happened, because that's just not how life works. And without me having some form of confidence in what I was doing, it never was going to happen. And so after I started writing along the way, mind you, my degree was in creative writing fiction. My writing opportunities were all nonfiction. So I was being asked to write articles and blog entries and these sorts of things that were really fueling my desire for writing and wanting to continue to write. But also what was happening in this process is that I was building my confidence. So it wasn't what was happening in the classroom that caused me to build that confidence. It was me successfully writing and the way that people were receiving my writing. But at the time, my confidence was based off of people's perception of what was good about me as a writer. Okay. And so this is another trick, because when we rely on other people's perception of our success, if that's the mark, right, that someone has to love what you do in order for you to consider yourself to be good at it, even though you know you're passionate about it. If that's your only thing, you're setting yourself up for failure, because what happens when you interact or come in contact with someone who doesn't agree or doesn't like what you're putting out? And again, I'm referring to writing at this moment because this is an integrated part of who I am as a person and as a leader. But this also goes back to leadership, because you could have times or seasons in leadership where people are singing your praises. And you could have times and seasons where you're making decisions that are what are best for the company or best for your employees, but nobody agrees with it because either it's new to them or they're just uncomfortable with it or they don't understand and they don't see your vision. What happens then? And see, what I've seen happen is that there are leaders who, when that happens, they crumble. They no longer stand on, even though they may know that what's right, the fact that other people are not receiving them well will cause them to kind of backpedal. And that's because of a lack of confidence. That's because of their own insecurities, because a secure and confident leader is going to say, if I know without a shadow of doubt that this is the best move, and that I know that eventually you will see the benefit of us taking these chances and doing new things, I'm not going to backpedal even if you don't like what the changes are, because you don't have the same vision that I have. But I know and have a very clear picture that this vision is going to get us to the next level. It doesn't really matter if you like or you applaud or you do cartwheels about that, because I believe that you will eventually come to respect the decision when you understand the why behind it and that it was in the best interest of everyone that is involved. And so that was the downfall in that season, was that I was really needing other people's approval in order for me to feel as though I was gifted in this particular area. And so I, continued to gain that momentum. And I think that it's really important to understand that we all go through seasons in this process as well. So that was a season that I was in. That season was, I believe, necessary, but it was not a season that I needed to stay in. And so as I continued to build my confidence and see that there was something there, I also at the simultaneously was still on this education path. And what happened was that as I started to gain confidence in one area, I started to build confidence over here in another. And it was unlike the writing piece, my confidence in the area of education came from measured success of my students. So watching them continue to grow and develop in this area, and me putting in certain practices within my own classroom that were being translated positively into, my students' lives and into the lives of the school community, and people starting to see like the things that are happening in her room are effective? How can we branch this off? And so then I started to take that momentum of seeing success in my classroom and seeing success for my students and wanting to share that with the larger school population. I did presentations for the division, and every time that I shared those things and shared these ideas and helped people to see how change can happen for students in a classroom when you are intentional, I started to build my confidence in that area as well. And so my education was helping, but my education was just one piece of the puzzle, because most of my ability to speak on what best practices are and how to successfully navigate educational systems and then how to navigate leadership itself did not come from classroom experiences. Now, all that knowledge is in here and I'm able to use it. And if someone needs data or research to support the things that I say, I can pull it out. But that happened from me walking out the process. And so as I continue to collect years in education, years of leadership, continue to observe and to glean from people who did what they did well, and learn from the people who did things not so well, my confidence continued to grow in my knowledge and understanding and my ability to speak to the things that are important and that I talk about every single day. And so as I continued along the journey, it became a point where part of my position, I took on a new leadership position where I was working in central office. And part of that position included me getting another master's degree. And so fourth master's degree, fourth time around, this one in educational leadership. And I learned a lot of valuable things in that program. I don't regret taking, having to go through that process at all, because there's so much that I learned, and there's so many people that I connected with along the way that really, really showed me examples of like what good leadership is and how the type of leader helped me to really see the type of leader that I wanted to be and to continue to grow with knowledge and understanding that was given to me on this path. So along the way, I ended up with 4 degrees. And I will say that all the first 3 were really because I felt like I needed backing. And so we talked before on a podcast about this concept of imposter syndrome, which is directly tied into this concept of insecurity, which does limit how we are able to be productive and successful in these particular environments. And so my struggle with imposter syndrome was simply what it is for most of us, right? Is that I just didn't feel like I was qualified or that I fit in these situations. Like it would even be times when I've hyped myself up and then you get in the midst of it and it's like, should I be here? Like, am I being well received? Are people listening to me? Is what I'm doing and trying to do making an impact? And it really was, a constant struggle on a daily basis to really get out of my own head to understand that, yes, you bring valuable insight to the table. And even though there may be times where the people that you are talking to might not want to hear what you have to say, they might not be receptive to what you're saying. They might even think that they know better. You have walked out this process enough to know what works and what doesn't work. You understand the inner workings of the community itself and how sometimes people in leadership are very, very dismissive of the people who really are the ones we're supposedly doing this for, right? Like whether it's in education or it's in business or wherever you are, there you have a clientele, right? You have clients, you have people that you are responsible for serving. And in a customer service, any type of customer service arena, which again, people limit customer service to like department stores and whatever. If you deal with people in business, If you deal with people in education, if you deal with people in any capacity, you are a customer service business. Okay. Your job is to provide unmatched customer service to the people in which you serve. That is in any place where you are. Okay. And so, with that understanding, your decisions, your actions, even your thought process on every stage of anything that's going to impact the people in which you serve should be handled with care. And there should be a level of consideration of the fact that in most cases throughout the United States, if you know, and if you're listening from somewhere else, you may have a different experience. You are dealing with diverse populations, of people. Diverse populations mean diverse needs, and not just diverse as in, oh, we don't look the same. I mean, like, different experiences that impact how groups of people, our clientele, our customers, are interacting with the world around them. And so when you remove your insight to just be sensitive to the fact that there are other people, other places with different experiences than what you have, and some of those experiences are not the most positive, you have to be very, very strategic about how you go about making sure you're meeting the needs of all the people in which you serve. And so that has always been my role in spaces, because I understand what it is like to be overlooked and left out, because my experience with life and the world and, everything that's going on is different than the experiences of the people that have made decisions for me throughout my life. And now I'm in a position where I have a little bit more of a oomph about how I address those things and those holes that are missing. And I have the emotional intelligence to be able to express in a way that I hope is very clear and concise, that I need people who say that I am part of their priority or part of their mission, who dare to include me in a mission statement as, a woman or a woman of color, whatever the case may be, to acknowledge the fact that my needs are what they are. And sometimes blanket decisions leave out entire communities of people. I had to build the confidence to be able to say that in spaces where it may be that I am the only person saying it. It may be that me saying that makes other people uncomfortable and they don't want to hear it. And I had to learn that my voice matters, and that I have to use my voice, because it is sometimes really, really difficult for you to push past those insecurities in certain situations. And my last podcast, where I had the Chef of Life on as my special guest, we talked a lot about, finding that voice and understanding that your voice has impact, and that if no one else is willing to say the hard thing that makes everybody uncomfortable, you are going to have to be willing to say that. But the only way that's going to happen is for you to build some level of confidence to feel as though you're qualified to say that. And I think that we need to all understand that confidence is bigger than us. And I'm not talking about arrogance, because there is a very big difference. Confidence is, I am standing strong on the fact that I deserve to be here. I have something to contribute to the conversation, and I am going to speak the truth for not just myself, but for the people who are not in this room that are going to be impacted by this decision that could possibly be very careless and is not considering how they are going to be impacted by the decisions that are being made. And so when we're thinking about leadership growth and development, which is what this podcast is all about, as a leader, you are going to be put in those positions at times. And whether or not you're from a particular community, you may not be directly impacted by the choice that's getting ready to be made. But if it is very clear to you that the choice that is being made, or the conversation that's being had, or whatever the decision that's getting ready to come up is going to negatively impact people that you say that you care about and that you want to be positively impacted by what your company is doing, by what, your leadership initiatives are meant to accomplish, then you are going to have to find the confidence to say so. And that can be a very difficult place to be in, but it's so important, too important for us to kind of gloss over. You are in a position right now to be the type of leader that you want. That is what growth and development is about. What kind of leader would I want to lead me? What decision making practices do they follow on a regular basis? What considerations do they take when they're walking this out? How are they making moves? Are they going into spaces where they're confident before they come in there, but because they bring their insecurities in with them, as soon as someone disagrees with them or doesn't see the vision quite well, they just drop it. That they've had conversations with their team. Okay, I'm going to take this to the board. I'm going to take this to whomever. We're going to put this into practice. But as soon as one person says, I don't know about that. Oh, okay. Well, it was just kind of idea, I'm not really stuck with it. That's not the type of leader that I want. And that is definitely not the type of leader that I want to be. Sometimes people need to hear hard truths. And I am a proponent of, I would much rather you give me a hard truth than an easy lie. Because an easy lie is not going to help me. And it's not going to help me do anything. And I handle everything that way. And some people don't understand it. I handle it in my own home. As a mother, I am the leader here. And I'm really straightforward and honest with my children, because, especially the older ones, because they need to hear the truth. I am not helping them by, glossing over hard conversations. We're going to talk about this. I love you. I'm going to help you through this, but we are going to talk about this, because when you are faced with this situation down the road, I want you to have the tools to be able to handle the situation. And we know we're in a climate right now where some things people just don't want to talk about, and people try to run and hide and skip and jump from it. But the problem is that nothing changes unless something changes. So we got to talk about it, and so that we can actually reach change. Because if we're not talking about it, then we're living in a place of denial and acting like things are not happening that are actually happening. And that is what this leadership journey is all about. So again, confidence is key. We must build our confidence in order for us to successfully lead in any capacity. No matter where you are, you have to be confident in who you are. And in some cases, for some of us, we're on different places on this journey. I have had plenty of time and experience to learn myself, and I've done the self-work. I have spent time in reflection. I have, listened to podcasts that have helped to uplift me and help me to go a little bit further. I'm always willing to read the book, whatever it is that I need to do to continue to build my confidence. I'm going to do that because someone else is depending on me to show up in a way that actually moves us in a positive direction. I am the queen of action. We must do the thing. Let's not keep talking about it. Let's not keep talking around it. Let's not keep acting like it's not happening. Let us address the issue and then find a solution. Don't stay in a place of being stuck in this is wrong and that's wrong. What is the solution? If there, that your issue right now is that you need to build your confidence, let's build your confidence. Let's take the steps to get that done. So I end with that today, is that confidence is key, and that we need to be building our confidence and stay on ready. As the this generation, I'm standing on business. It's time to go. We need to be ready to do the thing, because we're in a place where it's so important, and our decisions are impacting the lives of others, whether it's our team or our clients. And again, no matter where you are, you have clients. If you're in leadership, there is someone who you are doing it for. They are being impacted by our decisions and our insecurities, if that's what we're bringing to the table. Again, I am ChèRee Wiley, your host, founder and CEO of Diverse Perspectives. If you are interested in having some consulting and coaching around this leadership journey and around ways to build your leadership capacity, to build your confidence in this area, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out. The website is at the bottom of the screen. I am happy to help you, to work with you. If you just leave your contact information on the contact page within the website, I will be sure to reach back out to you and to provide you with that support that you need, because we all need someone along this journey. I've had plenty of mentors on this journey. I still have mentors on this journey that pour into me and that help me to continue to grow and develop, because that is so important to me. And I would love to be a part of your journey as you are continuing to grow and develop, because we cannot do this by ourselves, but everything that we do is for someone else. This has been Rise and Lead Women's Leadership Perspectives. Please be sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube page. You can also listen to the podcast on Spotify. I hope that you have gotten something out of this, and I look forward to seeing your growth and development along this journey. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.